Alright, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? It is me, the Mass Reviewer. We are back again. I was not planning to do another review today, but I ended up watching the story for Yakuza 0. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the first video or if any video up to this point, but I'm not just reviewing movies, shows, and anime. I'm also going to try to review stories like video game stories, because I'm not a big gamer. I'm a very casual gamer, I would say, but I do still enjoy the stories that many games have to offer. So even though I did not play Yakuza 0, I was still invested in the story of it. So I will be giving now a review for the story. So once again, this is not a review of the gameplay or the game mechanics or anything like that. This is strictly a review of the story of Yakuza 0. I'm pretty sure this is the first game in the franchise chronologically, so I started with this one. And so with that said, let us get into it, starting with the characters. So this game has some very good characters. I liked pretty much everyone. There's no one really that comes to mind that was not a good character. They're all pretty well written. You have Kiryu and Majima, who are the two main protagonists. Kiryu is a very stoic character with a strong sense of justice, and you have Majima, who is the more I don't know the word, but he's very, he won't falter. He's very respectful towards the people that he needs to be respectful towards. He's very skilled. He's kind of crazy and stuff. In terms of who is the better protagonist, I will probably say in the story, I probably liked the Majima sections more so, just because Majima as a character, I thought his plot was probably, I'll get into the plot after, but I thought that his plot was probably a bit more interesting in my opinion. Nishikiyama, he was also very good. He was like Kiryu's sworn brother, so he was a good character. He went along with Kiryu. He almost ended up killing Kiryu, which I thought was a great scene. Makoto, she was good. She was kind of like the MacGuffin of the story. Like everyone was hunting her down, and so she was a pretty good character as this defenseless woman that is blind and can't really take care of herself. She was good. Tachibana, he was also good. He was like the opposition to the entire Tojo clan, and as a character, yeah, he was good. He had his backstory was pretty good. All the characters were just pretty good in my opinion. Who else? There was Kashiwagi, who was probably, in my opinion, probably the least. He was the least. You didn't really see him that much. You saw him in very few scenes in the entire story. But even the scenes that he was in, the fight with Majima, it was still good anytime that he was there. Lee, he was great. The acupuncturist that was helping to protect Makoto. Sarah, he was at first I wasn't feeling Sarah. He wasn't he didn't seem that big of a character or that interesting, but he turned out to be pretty good. He played an important role, which was as basically the stand-in to run the Tojo clan. You had Nishitani, who was probably one of my favorite characters, to be honest. He was just this probably the craziest out of any of them. He, even against Majima, he ended up being the most out of control guy, but he ended up being a very useful help to Majima. You had Reina, who was the woman that she ran a bar. She was there. She actually, besides Kashiwagi, she was probably barely in the story. She was in a few scenes just to help out Kiryu or Nishiki. Yeah, the antagonists were also very good. You had Awano, Kuze, Shibusawa as the lieutenants. They all did a very good job being menacing in their own way. You had Kuze, who was the more traditional fight and get things done attitude. You had Awano, who was more laid back and was very greedy and stuff, and he wanted a lot of wealth. You had Shibusawa, who was kind of the mastermind, planning everything, one step ahead of the other lieutenants. You had Sohei Dojima, who wasn't really, he was mainly towards the end, really. You didn't really see him before the hand, but yeah, towards the end he was good. You had Shimano, who also, all the higher ups, you didn't really see that much of them, but so Shimano and Dojima, I don't really have anything much to say about them. They served their role well. Sagawa, he was good. He was the boss of Majima, and then he ended up being an ally of Majima. And Lao Gui, he was the assassin that ended up killing the guy in the empty parking lot. He was cool. He was a cool character. He was a very good assassin. and scenes with him were probably, he had some of the coolest action scenes. Oda, he was the right hand of Tachibana, and he was also a very good character. Honestly, all the characters were, like, I have nothing really to say anything negative. Kazuma, like, you barely saw him, but when you saw him, like, he was cool. Mihara, the second in command in the Dojima family. Yeah, there's no real criticisms I have. It's just that there are a few characters here and there that are just, they get less screen time than the rest of them. So in terms of characters, I will probably give it, I'd probably give it like a 8 out of 10. They're all great, I would say. I would probably not go beyond great, though. They were all great, and probably nothing more. I'm gonna need in the future to get another marker because this one is running out. Next up, the plot. I thought the plot was very good. It was all centered around like this piece of land that just so many factions are striving for. You had the Tachibana Industries, and then the Dojima family, along with the entire Tojo clan. They're all just fighting for this one piece of land and trying to figure out who owns the land, and then get the person that owns the land, who ended up being Makoto. And it was just this great struggle to see like how to like find where Makoto is located, and then you end up having like Kiryu and Majima. They both end up having to protect her, and then so at like one point Majima's trying to kill her and stuff. And it's just this great story about like just a lot of factions fighting for land, and then how the characters end up dealing with the situations they end up finding themselves in. So in terms of the plot, I will also give it an 8 out of 10. In terms of the setting, it all takes place in Japan. It's a very nice setting. It takes place in like the 1980s. So you have like these cool streets of Japan, which all look very nice. All the settings, really, the sewers that Kiryu ends up fighting Kuze, the club with Awano, the bars that they end up going to, the Grand that Majima runs, even the underground fight club that Majima ends up going to. Just all the settings were really good in my opinion. I would also probably give it probably also an 8 out of 10. In terms of the action, because I was watching the story, there weren't really too many action scenes, but there were a couple here and there. And also, like, I was watching like a video which was like all the cutscenes like put together, and when a fight would start, it would play a few seconds of the action. So I will say, like, I've seen the action and the gameplay mechanics of Yakuza, and I'm not rating the gameplay mechanics here, but from the action that I did see, it was all it was very good, I would say. So 7.5. In terms of the mystery, this was actually a pretty good mystery. I was invested. I did want to find out what was like who was the owner of the lot, and then when you end up finding out that Makoto, it's not actually, you think at first it's Lee, it's not Lee, it ends up being the blind woman, and you're also trying to figure out like who killed the guy in the empty lot and stuff, and it's just all like very intriguing and very investing and stuff that you want to see, and you want to end up seeing what comes next. So I'll probably give it a 7.5. It's like a 7.5 to an 8, so I'll just call it a 7.5. I thought it was very good. The worst part, I would say, nothing really comes to mind when I think of the worst parts. If I had to throw something out there, I would probably just say that certain characters, they get like underutilized. So like, for example, Kashiwagi, like you don't really see too much of him. And also like, I guess Dojima and Shimano, like they are pretty important characters, but they're only in really a few scenes out of the entire movie, which ended up being like, I'm pretty sure the entire video I watched was like 14 and a half hours, something like that. So yeah, I watched it over the course of like the last year, I think, so it took a while, but yeah, so it was overall, like in terms of the worst part, it's probably just that like certain characters, they get underutilized, but even so, they still play like a good role. So in terms of the worst part, the fact that the characters got underutilized, I'll just give that a, I guess the utilization of certain characters, I will give a, I guess like a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6.5, we'll be generous with this. In terms of the best thing, I would probably just say like the overall narrative, it just like, it was very interesting to watch and to see how it played out and stuff, and to see like what was going to happen. There was some good suspense. It was a good mystery that was at the center of it all. The characters were just really good, and so overall the best thing was I would just say the plot. It was, yeah, I would give it like a, I guess 8 out of 10, I guess, for the plot. It was very good. It really was interesting to watch and stuff. So yeah, overall I would, here I'm going to Here, let's, yeah, I'm gonna do the calculations now. So, King Crimson. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, yeah, I mean, I'm putting the King Crimson, yeah, I want something to, like, if I edit something, like, I don't want you guys to watch the calculations because I feel like it takes up too much time, so I'm just putting King Crimson in the middle because for those of you who watch JoJo's, you understand why. I would put the clip of it, like there's a clip that I could use, but I don't really understand how the full copyright works, so I don't want to end up accidentally getting copyright strike. So for now, I'm trying not to use any video clips. When I understand how the copyright system works better, then I might start inserting clips, but for now I'm just going with like still images. So yeah, that was just a small little rant about copyright and shit. Anyway, so yeah, so it ends up totaling to about a 7.5. I would probably rank it a bit higher. I would probably give the entire story an 8 out of 10. I thought it was great. I thought that the characters were all, like everything I just stated. It was just overall just very good, and I am interested to see what the future game stories have in store for me. So with that said, if you have any recommendations, any movies, shows, anime, and I guess also now any video game lore stories that I can, like, I don't know, cutscenes or something that I could watch. I'm planning to do some more in the future. I'll probably get to the rest of the Yakuza games, and then also like Devil May Cry I want to do. Hollow Knight, maybe, if there's something for that I can do. Yeah, just if you have any recommendations for just any stories to review for in terms of video games, then leave those also in the comments, and maybe I'll check it out. So yeah, with that said, let's leave it at that.